ipmNation.com.
Why is everybody whispering? There's no need to whisper. It's time to give everyone a preview of what's happening this week on IPM Nation. IPM Nation Sneak Speak, kicking around the week ahead.
I have to tell you, every time I hear that opening, prior to your Facebook barrage of pictures modeling my favorite plaid jacket,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like I always laughed, but now whenever I hear that intro, it makes me think automatically of you in those pictures.
Oh, good.
It was a great comedic bit. It was very, very it was very good. Good evening and welcome to Sneak Speak. I'm here with my good friend Matt Connarton. He wears many hats, many fleece jackets, you could say, but one smile, one look, right? One stare, apparently one pair of sunglasses. But for Matt Connarton Unleashed, also the big wig over at ipmNation.com, kind of like where I like hanging out. So Matt, good evening and welcome. Welcome, candidly, to your own show. How's everything going?
Good, Brian. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Hey, I don't know if you noticed this, but I got a new, the big screen TV now, if you can see it, IPM Nation Sneak Speak. The big logo is front and center here. So I thought, oh, that's pretty cool. I think it's front and center here, isn't it? I don't know what else could be hanging out over there. Yeah, I thought so too. So that's something that we're going to be, all right, debuting. But I thought that would be kind of cool to have up when it's just you and me. Until, you know what would really be cool is if I could get one of your mugshots, one of your pictures with the plaid jacket and the glasses and everything else. I should have your mug loaded, right?
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be a great idea?
You'll just have to tell me which facial expression you'd like to use. I have many.
Listen, I told you, bottom row, middle.
Oh, that's right.
I already picked mine on Facebook today. Bottom row, middle. I thought was far and away the most expressive. I think of what it is you were trying to communicate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, it is hard to choose. Obviously, it's very expressive.
So many
facially.
Yeah,
yes.
I know. How do you do it? Well, you know, you'll be tough on facial recognition at airports and public transportation and walking around the street. Once that kicks in, man, they're not going to have anything on you.
That's very true.
So give me a quick hit. What are we talking about this evening? What's going on over at I mean, what can you tell us? What can't you tell us? I know Jenny's going to be calling in here in a little bit. What's the scoop? What's going on this week over at IPM Nation?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, there's one thing that's happening that we'll wait for Jenny for that. But,
okay, cool.
I'm going to be with you and Lee this Thursday on Coffey the Speaks, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, he's a sharp guy. He's a sharp guy.
Yes.
You're going to like that. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yes.
You're going to like that a lot, as a matter of fact, I'm thinking. Very cool.
Absolutely.
All right, well, now the phone's ringing. Let me see. I'll try it again. Here. Let me see. Did I really say 3 after? Call it 3 after? Is that what I said? Is that what we thought about? Just in case this is her, I better pick it up, though. Good evening. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who's this?
It's Jenny.
Hey, Jenny, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. You sound great.
Hey, thanks. You sound awesome.
Well, thank you very much. Hey, Matt was just bragging about you, so I know you've got some big news tonight. So why don't you, Matt, I'll let you kind of do the interview. Take it away. Let me get over to our page in case anybody's commenting here. Let me get over there quickly, and we'll go from there. But what's going on, Matt? You were saying you didn't want to steal the thunder. It was going to be something that Jenny was going to talk about. What do you got going on? What are you guys plotting over there?
Well, you know, on IPM Nation, we have a variety of television channels, video channels, and one of them is Blade TV, which is really Jenny's creation.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, and I'll let her kind of explain what that is and what's going on.
And Jenny, as I'm sure you know and can see, because you're better at this than I am, Lee Rowley is here from Sales Copy Academy and Copy Branding. And he says, the wrecking ball is here. If only you guys knew.
He's
I have to.
Is he talking about you or him?
No, him. He's a wrecking ball. Don't. Right? He's got this demeanor of, oh no, it's not me. I'm just a little lotus. Right? No, I came up with that idea of, being as delicate as a jackhammer on high. Don't fall for it. There's a lot.
Oh, I wouldn't.
Yeah, there's a lot
I'm not gonna
buried.
Fall for it. He was actually helping me with some knife-oriented taglines. So I know
he knows
he's
his
got a
stuff.
little edge to him.
Yeah, he's got a little bit about that behind that bow tie, let me tell you. But Lee, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us here. And Matt, you were saying, Jenny, if I can interrupt one more time, you're going to be on Lee's show this week here on ipmNation.com, the new Counterpunch channel.
Yeah.
You're going to be on the show this week.
Yeah,
That's
which-
exciting.
Which I'm excited about. I wanted to kind of get Lee's help with my show, Matt Connarton Unleashed. One of the things I've never had for the show, some shows have taglines or a slogan or something like that, and I've never really had one for Unleashed, and I think maybe that's something Lee could help me with. I mean, I've kind of toyed around with, I've had unofficial slogans over the years. For example, for a while I was kind of using how to lose friends and alienate people
Very nice.
as a slogan for the show.
That's a good one.
But Lee might be able to help me come up with something a little more official and descriptive and so forth.
I know. Now, I remember, too, the unofficial, another name was Gene Simmons from KISS. Come and watch Matt Connarton Unleashed, the closest thing to a twin that Gene Simmons has. Isn't his name Gene Simmons?
Something like that,
Yeah.
yes. Well, I do, one of my facial expressions very much resembles Gene Simmons.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it does. Although I'm not sure Gene Simmons would ever agree to be caught dead in a plaid a jacket. Just
Probably not.
probably not. Well, I'm just not a.
But that's his loss.
That's his law, and your gain, brother, and your gain. All right, Lee says,
Yes.
"Ooh, tagline, pick me, pick me." He's like, remember Horseshack in the back of Mr. Cotter's room 222. Ooh, yeah, exactly.
Of course.
No one remembers that show. I don't know why I even
The
said
great
that.
Ron Palillo.
I don't even know why I said that. All right, Jenny, sorry for stealing your thunder. So tell me all about it. What do you got going on is it now Blade TV? Is that what I heard you say?
Yes.
Oh, very cool. So
Blade
tell us all
TV.
about it.
So what happened was I was involved going back to 2010 with changing some laws that I didn't realize at the time what kind of ripple effect it was going to have.
Okay.
But what had happened in shorthand is that I was an EMT, and I slipped on an icy driveway on a call. I had a manually opening knife in my pocket, and it opened up and it bit my leg, meaning that it cut me.
Right.
So obviously I was not happy with that. It went right through my pants, and you know what gear's like.
Sure.
From working in first as a first responder, you know what our gear's like, and it went right through the pants, right into my leg. And didn't need stitches, but it was a decent cut.
Sure.
So I started looking for a knife that would be better to be able to use on rescue calls.
Right. Didn't have a
And something that
mind,
would be a little
a
bit
knife
safer.
that didn't have a mind of its own. Right.
Yeah,
Wasn't going
I
to
wanted
open all
something that was
willy-nilly.
gonna walk.
Yeah, I got you. Just
More
sit there and do what
securely.
you're told. Yes, I got you. All right,
Yeah,
we're on the
but
same
you want
page.
it to be secure as a first responder, but you also want it to be usable as quickly as possible.
Sure.
So what I really wanted was an auto.
Like a
Come to
switchblade.
find out, in my state, they were illegal.
Ooh.
Auto knives were completely illegal. And it was all dated back to way before I was even born, back in the 1950s, when people were talking about the Jets and the Sharks, and people had a fear of switchblades.
Right.
So a lot of that legislation happened then.
Right.
So I ended up working to change the laws and legalized all knives in the state of New Hampshire, which started the knife freedom movement that worked its way across our nation, and it's still working today.
Very cool.
In doing that, I worked with a lady named Jan Billup, and she is the executive vice president of the American Knife and Tool Institute.
Ooh.
And they were extremely proactive in assisting me and even assisting me after I had done my work here, continuing to be supportive of my work in
Cool.
various ways. And Jan had come to me and asked me if I would speak to a legislator in another state about my experience and what I had done and maybe some tips and tricks on how I got the legislation through.
Okay.
And I'm like, yeah, sure. And we just started chatting, and during the conversation, the idea came up, but wouldn't it be great to have real knife shows without screaming?
Right.
Because we all know the knife guys that scream, right?
Right. You mean like the
So,
SHOT Show? I like the SHOT Show. I go there whenever I can. Out,
Actually,
something like that.
when you go to SHOT Show, you should check out the Adkey booth.
All right. Cool. I will.
A number of really great manufacturers are there.
Yeah.
People like Spyderco and SOG and
SOG. I've been
Tony
carrying
Arisen
SOG
Knife
knives. I've been carrying SOG knives for years. Matter of fact,
they're awesome.
yeah, SOG knives.
They
I have
are awesome.
bunches of them lying around here.
So basically, a gentleman named Walt contacted me and asked me if. Oh, let me back up a second. So Blade TV basically came out of that conversation, and it's a dedicated channel on ipmNation. It's ipmnation.com/Blade TV.
Okay.
And it's all blades all the time. You might be watching Ken Onion grind out a knife and make one on screen for you. Or you might be watching CRKT show you how to field strip a knife or how to properly oil your blade. That's one part of what's been going on. But
Okay.
so that is always on. 365 days a year, 24/7, you can watch Blade TV and see stuff from Boker and Kirschar and Zero Tolerance and Benchmade, American Knife and Tool. Basically, it's all American Knife and Tool Institute members
Okay.
who are peer on this channel.
Great.
It's a lot of fun.
So how are you tying that in? What's the big news this week at IPmNation? So it broadcasts currently.
It's a double win for me, and
Correct.
that I get to take care of both my loves.
All right.
I love to write. A lot of people know that, and some people, your listeners probably are unaware that I've been published in numerous magazines.
Cool.
And I've actually self-published a autobiography. A number of years ago, I sold over 500 copies.
Very cool.
Yeah, not bad for a first press, right?
I'm with you.
Yeah, we actually sold out. We sold every copy we had.
Very nice.
And it is now it's available on demand and Kindle. So
I like that Kindle. I like that
Hmm?
Kindle. I like Kindle. And you know what else I like? Audible.
You're so good on it.
Audible. Right? Because I don't have time to
love it.
read books
Yeah,
all day long.
I thought about doing it on Audible, but
Audible's
I'm
good
working
stuff.
on another book right now, so I don't know that I have time to be able to go back and do an Audible on the first book. But I'm going to be doing more writing.
Oh, good.
And I was tapped by this gentleman named Walt for a magazine called the Automatic or Auto Knife Magazine.
Okay.
And it centers around auto knives.
Right.
And we're going to be talking about various kinds. And
cool.
We're talking about good products, products from
Right. Not plastic
good
knives.
companies like SOG that you love, and Microtech, all those different companies.
Very cool. Very cool. So, Matt, this has got to be cool to have a different type of program. Not a different type, but now to be enhancing a program that was already there. You got to be excited about that. Or maybe, maybe Matt went out to get dinner.
He might. Well,
Oh,
it must be second dinner. It must be.
Hey, no, I'm here. I'm sorry, you cut out on my end for a second there. I didn't quite catch all that.
Okay, well, I was just asking. You got to be pretty fired up now that there's another facet of what's going on with Knife TV and everything else. So that's got to be pretty cool news for what's going on this week at IPmNation.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and it's it's something that it's nice to kind of refresh that channel, Blade TV, in a way, because it's been up for a couple of years now, and we've always got a lot of different things going on and a lot of different facets to IPmNation. So to be able to kind of take another look at that and give it a sort of a shot in the arm with this and whatnot is really cool because it's we just added a bunch of new content to it, and it's it's really it's got a lot of new viewers in the last couple of days now that we're really kind of promoting that specifically again. So
very cool.
It's been really good. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the stuff that's going to be in Auto Blade magazine are things that you're going to see on Blade TV. So you're going to see Microtech on there talking about the latest and greatest OTF that they have out. Or maybe you're going to be looking at an SOG TAC Ops.
Sure.
Maybe. They have a really beautiful TAC Ops. It's the TO1, I'm trying to remember the TO1011BX. It's a long number, but the SOG TAC Ops is a really nice, it's a heavy-duty folder. It's an automatic blade, but it's lightweight. It's a lot more lightweight when you look at it than you think. To look at it, you think it'd be heavier than it is, but, SOG makes really good quality products.
And for the people that may not...
on there showing you how to open that blade, maybe proper hand placement so you don't accidentally bite yourself, or how to take it apart so you can properly clean it and be able to put it back together again.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'll tell you that for people watching or that will hear this on the replay, I don't think they appreciate how passionate people... There are people that are so passionate about knives. I don't think people understand that. Like, you can go... I've been into some stores in New York City where you walk in and there's 400 knives on display, right? Just
New York is horrible.
counters and counters and counters of knives. So people that enter knives
has gotten so bad about their laws that they will actually pick up a blade, and if they can flick it open fast enough, they'll call it an automatic, and they deem it illegal. And it's ridiculous because I'll tell you, I could give you minimal amount of skill and teach you. And with a minimal amount of skill, you can open a manually opened knife, an assisted opening knife, and an automatic opening knife within the exact same amount of speed.
Sure. Absolutely.
The difference is the technology inside. And that's what's really fascinating. When you look at the knife industry as a whole, it's amazing. I mean, I've been to Atlanta, Georgia for the Blade Show, which is the largest blade and cutlery show in the world. And there's hundreds of vendors and thousands of people, and they now have a second show out in Las Vegas, I believe it is. And these knives are serious tools.
Sure.
These, this is reminiscent of some of the stuff you've probably used in your career, but also in your travels as a survival expert. A lot of the knives that you've used, the importance of having a good quality knife can literally mean the difference between life and death if you're, mountain climbing or trying to hike off trail or something.
Sure. Well, it's always good to have one, even, just in your daily life. Just, walking around. You never can tell when you're going to, when you're going to need an extra hand. And sometimes having a knife that you're comfortable with, and most certainly one that you're trained with. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen people go to use a knife or open a knife for this, and they have no clue. And then people say, "Oh, it's a knife. How hard can it be to hold?"
What I love about the knife industry is that the people in the knife industry are so receptive. I'll never forget getting a ET, which I don't think you can get them anymore. They're hard to find, but it's a really neat-looking knife, and it's neat to play with. But if you don't play with it right, it will bite you.
Sure. Sure.
And, of course, I bit myself with it right in front of the person who designed it, of all people.
So it's like a cop shooting himself in the foot, right? So that you mean like one of those kind of stories?
Taught me how to handle it correctly.
All right. Very cool. Very cool.
But what kind of knife owner would I be if I didn't occasionally bite myself?
Well,
I personally have a... I'm sorry?
No. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of my favorites is I have an OTF. And for those that don't know, OTF means out the front, which is an automatic knife that can be deployed out the front of the handle and then retreat back into the handle.
Great.
And I love it because I can do it with one hand, and it locks open and it locks closed, and it's way safer for me when I'm trying to cut canvas that I'm going to use to paint.
Sure.
I can get a better cut than an X-Acto blade. I can get a better cut with my OTF.
Wow.
Which is an Italian OTF. I love it.
Well, you should take a picture.
I got it from, I believe it was Lantana.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was Lantana.
You should take a picture of it and put it up here.
Latama. I'm sorry?
You should take a picture of it and put it up here in the thread.
Oh, I should.
Yeah, you should
I
absolutely do that.
I'll have to figure that out.
There you, yeah, I just figured it out recently. So look at me going, oh, yeah, here's what we do. We should take a picture. All right. Well, Jenny, thank you so very much. We're going to go ahead and get to our recap of the schedule this week and everything.
My babies.
No, not at all. It's an absolute pleasure, as always, learning from you. And thank you for calling and hanging out this evening, and continued luck. I know Lee is here as well. So, and I think you guys were kicking around a tagline or something not too long ago. So he's a great guy to work with.
Yeah, he was helping me with my byline for my new column in the Automag magazine.
Oh, very cool.
The Autoblade magazine. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all that other cool stuff that you can
come out in the future.
I will, for sure.
We'll be having a launch of the new 21st Century Auto magazine.
Fantastic. All right, my friend. Well, congratulations. I can't think of anyone else that would be better to have involved in it, especially with all of your expertise. And good luck as you pull it forward.
I'll be coming to you.
I'm looking forward to it.
Hear from you what you like and don't like in the world of survival.
Very cool. I'm looking forward to it. All right, Jenny. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Matt, so what else we got going on? I know that we were going to talk a little bit. Hi to you as well. We were going to talk a little bit about schedules this week, what's going on at IPM Nation. I got to tell you, I like Dumb and Busted. Oh, Dr. Kevin sent me a really nice email. I just got slammed over the last couple of weeks. I got to get back to him because I would love to be able to hang out with him a little bit on the show. But what else is going on this week, or maybe mention a couple other shows, and then how are we in terms of the cities? Are we still in the same order that we were?
That changes quite a bit.
It does.
Let's see. I'm looking at that. Manchester, New York, Boston, Saginaw, Orlando, Florida. I think is a recent addition.
That sounds like a recent one. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Indianapolis.
Not far from me.
I think is a recent. What's that?
Not far from me. Indianapolis, like 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that, but yeah.
Oakland, California is still in there.
Wow.
I told you about my theory about Oakland, right?
No.
Oh, I didn't tell you this.
No.
So I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but it was a couple of months ago now. I started my my on-air feud with MC Hammer.
Yes.
You remember MC Hammer, of course.
I do. And let me just interrupt, Ashley, to tell you quickly, you should talk to Lee, because every time you say MC Hammer, I think of Rick Astley.
Oh,
and Lee's got this whole thing about rolling with Rick. Lee asks, where'd we land? Is the Elegant Edge? Elegant Edge something, he asks here in the thread. But just so you know, whenever I hear you say Mike Hammer, it makes me think of Lee and Rick Astley. So I'm sorry, Matt, go ahead. Feud in Oakland with MC Hammer.
So when Oakland, California, because that's where MC Hammer lives, when Oakland, California started showing up in our top 10 for the first time, I wondered if it had anything to do with my my on-air battle with MC Hammer.
Why couldn't it?
Well, it very well may.
It may have, sure.
I may have gotten his attention.
Yeah, you never can tell. I mean, we could ask Lee. I don't know what city Rick Astley lives in, but if we see that city jump up in terms of the numbers, we might very well know then that we're being,
That's right.
I don't want to say we're being trolled. That's not nice, but you know what I'm saying.
No.
We might go, oh, okay,
Right.
well, that's how it came. Never can tell. Could be.
That's right. That's right.
And let me also thank everybody that I got you on here now. Thank you for recording the new Open. One of the things that's different here, and I saw the post where Jenny said, okay, well, Brian, you're at your limit for the amount of name changes. So thank you very much for letting me do that. But we now have IPM Nation 3, formerly Transitional Radio. We now have Counterpunch Media, but the channel name itself is Counterpunch, and we should give a shout out to Wayne Noel, who's been working really hard to get that channel up. And what I find fascinating, Matt, is that when we broadcast live, like this show is being broadcast live to our Sneak Speak Facebook page, but it's also being broadcast live to the Sneak Speak feed on Counterpunch Media. And Wayne says that when you broadcast to YouTube, I guess the signal is crisper or it's faster or whatever it is. So tonight will be the first night that we're broadcasting to both. So I thought that's something that's pretty cool. Let me see. Lee says, roll with Rick. He lives in the UK. No idea what city. He wouldn't wanker. He wouldn't give me an address. That's okay. I can see that. Matt, do you have MC Hammer's address?
I do not. Like I said, all I know is that he lives in Oakland. I am concerned that he might have my address.
Well, he does have the nickname of a weapon. Right? It can't be his given name, MC Hammer, isn't it? So, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask, what is this feud, right? We only have about 4 minutes left, so can you give me a thumbnail of what was the actual feud about? He may be listening in because of the feud, but I'm not sure I've ever really cornered you when it comes to what's the feud all about.
Well, so there's a gentleman who frequently appears on Matt Connarton Unleashed. His name is Glenn R.J. Willett. We call him the People's Mayor.
Okay.
And he had some criticisms of MC Hammer from back in the day, as they say. And then my alter ego, M. Sizzle, recorded a diss track about MC Hammer in defense of Glenn, and it just turned into this whole thing.
As one would expect, right?
Yeah, as one would expect. Yeah.
What are you going to do? You play with fire. That's all I'm saying. You play with a knife. It's going to bite you. If Jenny were still here, she would tell us, right? That's right. That's what happens. Okay, so that may be the reason. You never can tell. That may be the reason of what's going on with the recent numbers at Oakland. So tell me a little bit about Matt Connarton Unleashed this week, because as some people may not know, Jen Durecki is watching. Jen, thank you so very much for joining us. See, all the people out there were thinking, Matt, I was going to say thank you very much for joining us and slip and say the name of my other little endeavor, but I didn't. Thank you very much, Jen, for joining us at ipmNation's Sneak Speak. So, Matt, what do you got going on at Matt Connarton Unleashed? Because you do a terrestrial radio show as well. In addition to all the internet stuff, what do you got going on this week?
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Matt Connarton Unleashed on weekdays 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern. We're on WMNH 95.3 in Manchester, where I am, but of course you can listen online at ipmNation.com/live1. I do know that this Wednesday we're going to have some musical guests in from Massive Hustle Records in Boston. They're coming up.
Okay.
One of the folks from there, DZ The Gift, hosts a very popular show on IPM Nation called The Hustle Report.
Yes, I've seen that.
So
very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, so they're going to be up on Wednesday. Other than that, there's probably a lot of politics. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's usually a lot going on, plenty to talk about. So.
Oh, absolutely. I love your show. Yeah. I've enjoyed it tremendously. You know, you're more than welcome. Sometimes I try to call in, and the lines are just so busy I can't get in. So that's got to be a good sign, not a bad sign. And in our final minute, let me also say to people, we're moving right ahead with our plans for 81 to Win, which is our the Guinness World Record attempt for the longest call-in radio talk show. You should know that Matt has very graciously agreed to be one of the guests that calls in to, Matt signed up for a whole 79 hours. Matt will be there, right? No, but Matt's agreed to call in, so I thank him very much for that. All right, Matt, in our closing, our closing minute, and then a half hour from now, we will be launching the 400 and some odd episode of All Natural Being right here on ipmnation.com/counterpunch. Anything in our final moment that you would like to let all of our listeners know of, Matt?
Maybe I'll just say this. Thank you. Thank you to everybody who, of course, folks like you and Lee and Jenny, and, of course, everyone who participates in IPM Nation. And thank you to everyone who watches and listens to all that we're doing. We appreciate the support. We continue to grow. But if we didn't have people watching and listening to the content, then, we there wouldn't be much point. So I'll just put some gratitude out there.
Fantastic. I think that would be a great way to end it. Now, we are going to be off next week because a little high school pickup football game called the Super Bowl is on. So we're going to be taking next week off. Unless, look, if you've got something else you'd rather be doing, I would just say to tune in and see what calls the referees are going to blow in this game. Right? People say all the time, it's about the halftime report. I don't know anymore. I think it could be waiting to see what the referees miss. But we'll let that go. All right, Matthew, thank you so very much as always. We're going to play ourselves out of here. I love the outro, by the way. It's probably the coolest thing I get to hear all evening. All right, brother. I will talk to you soon. Farewell.
All right. Thanks, Brian.
Good night, everybody.
ipmNation.com.